Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and this is kind of like a series of videos that I want to do eventually. And I figured this would be the perfect time to do it. Is that like when a champion finally loses their championship? I want to kind of go over the matches that they had as champion, their title defenses basically, and like how was it, how was this thing. So what's the perfect person to do it? Then start the series off with John Cena. So John Cena just recently lost the title to Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. It wasn't a super long you know thing. He had it for 105 days. It felt longer, to be honest. He had one match also that I'm not including because it's not a title match, but he also faced R-Truth. I don't know why they didn't make that a title match. He had two matches against R-Truth. They should have made him both title matches, and that would have made this a lot more defenses. I don't know if it's just like kind of a thing for me, but I feel like the title should have more defenses, even if it's against matches like that. Because John Cena won both of those matches, so what would have changed it just to put the title on the line? It wouldn't have done anything, and we would have had a, you know, he only defended it. He only successfully defended it twice, so like he would have had way more. But I guess that's just maybe my own thing. So we're gonna start from the beginning. It was night two, WrestleMania. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. John Cena turned heel at uh, Elimination Chamber, kind of aligned with The Rock and Travis Scott, which I guess just ended up being terrible at this part, and they had their match. I felt like a lot of this match itself just wasn't great. Obviously, it was only John Cena's third match back from being semi-retired. He had the Royal Rumble, which isn't technically to me like a full match thing. There's a lot of stuff he don't have to do there. He got, in the finals, but that was about it. The Elimination Chamber probably was his first and biggest match. And he got through that, and then they went to this match. So he definitely still had a little bit of ring rust on him. Cody Rhodes obviously coming off of his title run, that it was kind of felt destined. He probably was going to drop it here, and he did. It was about a 25-minute match. He lost the title with help of Travis Scott, which really didn't do much. He just kind of slowly walked down there, which ruined a lot of this match. And a lot of this match just kind of got ruined in general. So the first title, I'd put it up into C. It wasn't my cup of tea. I definitely don't think it was the worst match I've ever seen. It definitely could have been better. But if this was what it was going to be, I guess there could have been worse. This was rated a 3 on Cage Match, by the way. That is terrible. And it on the star thing that I think it's Dave Meltzer, and it was a 1 and 3/4. So I guess a C is also a little bit generous. I guess I would just put into the shock value of it all. Then next up was a match that I actually went to, so it was a little bit of this for me was John Cena versus Randy Orton at Backlash in St. Louis. It was amazing to see John Cena, and I hadn't seen even Randy Orton myself, so it was a great match to see both of them in as their last time ever. I thought it was a pretty solid match in some ways. It was really overbooked at the end with R-Truth trying to come down there and save John Cena against Randy Orton because he thought he was misunderstood, which led into then afterwards the R-Truth feud. Um, Again, I probably put this slightly better than the WrestleMania match. I feel like John Cena still didn't really. I don't think he really like got into his whole thing yet. Like he just hadn't really gotten better at wrestling or like gotten used to it until maybe the R-Truth match. I felt like he had that match a lot better. That he was more dominating everything. I'll put this in a solid B. It definitely could have been worse, like the WrestleMania match, but I think it was just a lot of the nostalgia value of these two mega titans going after each other. But there definitely could have been a lot of stuff that was different. Then we had at Night of Champions, it was CM Punk versus John Cena. Again, like their rivalry was tied at this time, so it was kind of interesting to see this happening. Um, Honestly, I felt like Night of Champions was a bad spot for it because it just felt like the crowd really was against Punk because of the whole like Punk not being a support of Saudi and stuff. So that kind of made it a little rough around the edges. I definitely feel like this match was definitely not as good as the Randy Orton match, but I wouldn't put it lower than WrestleMania match with Cody Rhodes, and that's kind of like the sad part of it because I think Cody wrestled pretty well on that match. It was just I think John Cena was a little too rusty, and it ended up doing that because when you see their SummerSlam match, and like, if that match would have been similar to that, we could have seen a lot better things. So I'll put this solid B. I don't think it deserves any higher than that. That card also was very soft because no match was really that great on that card. I think the best one probably was Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton on the card. So that's really not that great. And they had right before that with the Jade Cargill Asuka match, and it didn't really work out too well for Asuka, even though the crowd was pretty far behind her. So this made it a little bit more rough. Then we get to what just happened at SummerSlam, the street fight match between John Cena, Cody Rhodes. Uh, this match was way better, just absolute way better. This is what we've been needing, and I feel like it honestly kind of felt bad that Cena lost here, just because like I kind of was vibing with this. If we were gonna get these type of John Cena matches from now on after this, we could have been looking at a lot better title run altogether, especially with like him just having matches against people that we want to see him have matches against. I do feel like AJ Styles is still on that. I mean, obviously, its next thing is Brock Lesnar, but I really feel like we could have seen some other stuff. I put this in an A. I feel like it's a good way of putting it there. And overall, when we look at his title run, I think it's quite obvious where we should put that is in the solid B. I don't think it was anything too crazy. I feel like a lot of it was lived by promos. Obviously, we didn't have him on every single show because he didn't do all the shows in between all that. So that made it a little bit more rough in some parts. But I think altogether, it was a solid 101 days, if you or 105 days. Like you think about that, that's only about 3 months of time, and he had three title defenses in that time. That's a pretty good average, pretty better than a lot of people. I would say, what most other champions probably haven't had as many as that. Maybe the women's intercontinental title, I think, has probably been defended more than that, but that's pretty much it. So I feel like that's a really good sign to have because it's like you're at least going out there and showing up and being at events, and I feel like it was a decent run for John Cena. I really thought it was going to be longer. I really thought he was going to be at the very end of his like retirement fade before he would give it up. And I still called it being Cody, so I guess that's one thing. I just got the timing wrong. So the landscape will definitely change, and we'll see what's next for Cody Rhodes. I think that's the crazier thing to me is like, okay, what's next for Cody Rhodes after all of this? Because that's a lot. Where did they put him now, and who steps up to the cage? Because you got Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins as champions, and I'm particularly a very happy guy because I like both guys up there, so it is very happy for me. But until next time, just bitch band. If you guys like this series, I plan on doing it with other titles that end up flipping. I know Gunther lost his title, but I wasn't a big fan of that title run anyways, so I didn't think it would be a good video because I think I just rate most of it pretty low. And he didn't really do much. He beat Jey Uso, lost or beat Goldberg, and then lost to CM Punk. And CM Punk's match was pretty much the only thing that was good out of all of it. So maybe that's just a little bit of a quick review of it. But until next time, this has been Japan. Bye, guys.